Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And I'm very pleased to have with me again Damon Finaldi of TeleCloud.
Hey,
Damon,
Doug,
thanks
thanks
for
for
joining
having
me.
me.
Thanks for joining me again.
Always good to be here.
So the topic is AI. No big surprise, but maybe the surprising topic for a lot of people is going to be vCons. They've been seeing and hearing it a little bit about that from us here at TR. We're talking about how vCon is truly transformational. Folks have heard that word used before in tech and IT. This time, it really is. So before we dive into that, Damon, tell us just a little bit about TeleCloud.
Sure. TeleCloud is a cloud-based service provider based out of New Jersey. We had grown out of the roots of being an interconnect. And because of that, we've had a very close, intimate relationship with a number of different types of clients, small and large, but specifically in auto dealership, healthcare, legal, even the service trades. And we got to know them very, very well because we did not grow up selling through a channel agent. Our clients would directly tell us what they wanted and needed all these years. And we were always able to bring them both a communications platform and a software that helped them better run their businesses. We've been doing that for years. And when I first learned about AI, I immediately saw how it was going to be an impact within our businesses in a number of ways. And I wasn't sure how it was going to affect the telecom products and services. It was new stuff, right? I saw what it could be, but I didn't know how to make the rubber meet the road. And then when I first learned about a vCon from Jeff Pulver and Thomas Howe, it was like seeing what the future is going to be. I could, for the first time, Doug, see the transformational impact my clients are going to have, because I've always known, Doug, one thing about our business. It wasn't the service we're providing that had the value. It's the data I have on behalf of each customer, but we just weren't able to package it in a way that they could consume all the conversational data, both in terms of the calling trends, the conversations occurring. The platforms weren't set up to harness and consume all that data.
So that's been the problem, right? In other words, setting the stage here is we create a lot of data, get a little bit of information from it, but it's really hard to get that full picture. Before we dive into the answer, what are vCons? What's defining what that is?
Sure. Simply vCon stands for virtual conversation. That could be a client communication on our platform. That could be a text message. That could be an email. That's essentially in any business where there's a touch point between the business and the client or partner. Thomas Howe has a funny joke. He said, unless you run a lemonade stand, it's impossible to know every conversation that occurs with a business and its customers.
Right.
It's simply
and even if you run a lemonade stand, you couldn't possibly recall all the information maybe that you really need. But people expect you to remember that you're not really going to remember.
Yeah, memory, right? Having what they said 6 months ago or a year ago. Most humans can't do that.
And be able to put it into context and so on. Okay.
With instant recall.
And the other neat thing about this is no longer a discussion about something that's about to happen. It's happening. vCon is actually now.
Correct. So this quarter, we're launching basically the ability to take recorded calls, which we've always had on our platform from our clients, and we're able to push those into a piece of technology that creates a vCon, which is going to be approved by the IETF as a standard. And we believe that's going to be the game changer. We're enriching all the data. And then really where the magic happens is when you push that into an insights dashboard. Because a vCon in and of itself isn't really anything other than food for the robots. So once you feed this into a large language model, harnessing the information out of it is where I'm going to see that transformational impact within a business.
And I think actually you've got a screen that you want to share.
Yeah, so we're working on this with our healthcare clients. So we're able to see here a healthcare with multiple locations. that now not only can we see total calls into the business and calls answered, I can drill down on each one of these. We could tie this out to a review system. And Doug, if you scroll down, I'll scroll down for us just a little bit here. Down below here, we can start pulling out trending phrases that are occurring real time, things that could potentially be conversational topics that need action to be had. I mean, the whole key to all this not only is having insights into the data, but if something was to fall out of bounds, having a trigger or an alert for a manager or a key stakeholder to take action before there's a problem. And for the first time ever, all this conversational data is going to flow through, get enriched. That means we're going to have sentiment analysis, tone and nuance, as well as transcription. And then if you do this right by vertical, you can integrate with line of business applications to really pull this all together. A perfect example of this, Doug, would be an urgent care clinic. We may know if someone calls into the urgent care, but do we know if they set up an appointment, right? Because that's one of those key indicators for an urgent care is appointment shows. And we'll be able to connect all this together in the insight data, which is also known as stitching. And regardless of the communication channel, we'll be able to, using APIs, pull this information in here and then stitch it all together so that an owner, a management team, even a team lead or team members themselves can see different forms of this data so that they can better manage their business.
And to be clear, this is no longer theoretical. You're actually, we're looking at something happening now. It's available now. And the impact is now.
The impact is now. I believe that in under a year, if not two, this will become more commonplace in the telecom business. The challenge with anyone that has anything new, I think, was best said by Henry Ford. You know, if I ask a customer what they want, is they'll just say they want a faster horse, right? A lot of customers aren't even aware that this technology is available. So we're educating them, but most of the leadership teams we talk to have AI on top of the strategy list with a mandate to figure out how it's going to impact their business.
So with this at a very fast moving pace, is part of your message to everybody today, get on board with vCon because you will be left behind?
I think that if you're a service provider and you're not offering this type of service to your clients, someone else will. I also think that as we look at how the technology is going to evolve, I'm showing an insights dashboard, but then there'll be things that'll impact compliance and ultimately automation. And if I was talking to one of my colleagues that was running a service provider, the second they get phone calls to have the main number forwarded to another service for automation, or to have someone transcribe all their call recordings, they're instantly devaluing their business and their services they're providing to the clients.
So it's a matter of move forward and be offering a very sticky service, or not and be viewed as sort of yesterday's guy.
Yes. And then you'll be calling the guys over at Q Advisors to sell your business for a low valuation or go out of business, right? One of the two.
So Damon, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This is really interesting. Thank you for giving us a short tutorial on vCon and also an actual live, as we watched it, operation of vCon in action, what it can do. Is there a way for people to learn more and start, engaging you guys about this?
Sure. The best way to get a hold of us would be to go to our website, telecloud.net, and I'm publicly available there. I'm also on LinkedIn, very active too. So either way is an easy way to get a hold of me.
All right. This is an ongoing story. I'm looking forward to more information, doing another follow-up podcast about this. David, thank you very much indeed for joining me today.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate you having me here.